Hi guys, have you been streaming but you're struggling with getting the quality good? You have issues with your audio going ahead or behind of your video, or you may have some type of lag issue with the video stuttering or stopping and starting. So I can show you what I did to be able to fix it for myself. Everyone's computer is different, so this may or may not work for you, but I can tell you right now, my specs are a 360 GPU, so it's not the best GPU at all. I have an i5, so it's not the best CPU either. But for me, I only use my PC for streaming. I do not use it for streaming and gaming. This research is done based off one stream. Basically, every single stream that I had beforehand, I had problems with. Each stream would have a sync issue or some type of jumping or stuttering issue. So based off one stream that I've done after I changed the settings, it fixed it. It fixed everything. So stay tuned and I'll show you what I did. So the first thing you want to do is go to your settings. I have it here, so you can just type in settings at the top if you want to type it in and run that. You want to type in power, sleep, and battery settings. You'll see here it says power mode. You want to make sure this is at best performance. He'll say that it takes a little bit more electricity, but I wouldn't worry about it. It's going to be like cents, so just don't stress about that. Best performance, and the computer will run at its best performance. Next thing you want to do is run your Streamlabs as administrator every single time. You can do this manually every single time is you right click and then run as administrator. Instead of doing it every single time, you come down here to show more options, properties, advanced, and here you'll see run as administrator. It says this option allows you to run the shortcut as administrator while protecting your computer from unauthorized activity. So don't worry about your Streamlabs taking over your computer and doing all of this weird stuff. It's not going to happen. It's just going to give the application more permission to be able to run itself correctly instead of being interrupted by other applications or other things running in the background. So the next thing we want to do is open up Streamlabs. And once we're in Streamlabs, go down to the bottom here on the left and click on settings. Once we're in settings, we want to go to output. In output, we want to make sure our streaming settings are set up all correct. So if you have a graphics card, I don't know, past 2020 or so, I don't know, a 360 or above, you want to run this at NVIDIA NVENC H.264. There'll be another option for this without it saying new. You can change between both of them to see which one is better. Yeah, so it's up to you, but you can change. So if it doesn't work properly, then change back to the old one. Next thing you want to do is make sure your rate control is CBR. You're going to make sure you have this enforced streaming service encoder settings. Make sure that's ticked. Your bitrate, have that at 4,500 to 6,000. That'll still give you decent quality, and that should be good for most internet connections, as long as you've got, I don't know, 14 megabits per second upload or so. That should be good. So keyframe, you can set this to auto so it changes itself according to what it needs to be able to do, or you can set it at 2. I have it at 2. That usually works good. And the presets, you can have that at slow, good quality. That'll give you good quality. It'll take up a few more resources on your computer, but it'll be good quality. So if you have a good PC or a bottom to mid-range gaming PC, then you should be right to be able to do that. Tuning, you want that at high quality or above, highest quality or so. Multi-pass, 2 passes I usually go, and everything else is good. So next thing you want to do, if you're recording also, you want to make sure your recording format is at MKV if you're worried about your application crashing halfway through your stream or recording. So if you have problems with it, with the application crashing, then I recommend going with MKV format. That way a file won't go corrupt. For me, I have an MP4 because my application doesn't crash and I don't have any problems with that. So I usually use MP4 when I make videos and things like that. So I just have it in MP4 because I don't have any issues with the Streamlabs software. But you can convert the MKV file to an MP4 file with a video converter or something like that. But most video editing softwares read the MKV file format, so you don't need to worry about that. So your recording settings, you also want to make sure you have the codec at the NVIDIA new. You can record at a higher bitrate if you want better quality. I tend to do that because I know it's going through the graphics card to record. I could probably turn that down to improve my stream a bit. Not 100% sure on that, but you could try. If you have a bitrate, your recording bitrate high, you could probably change that down to improve your stream, to take off more resources on your graphics card. So you could have that at 6002 and should be right. For your audio, the going rate for your audio to be able to get decent quality, you could start at 90, but the mid-range is 128. It goes all the way up to like 264 or something like that. I can't change anything at the moment to see because I'm recording through Streamlabs, but the best rate for audio is probably around about 128. You're still going to get decent quality and it's not going to interfere with your stream too much, and you shouldn't get any lag or anything like that. If you have it down, if you have it up too high, I recommend turning it back down to 128. Just check all your audio bitrate settings. Make sure they're all at 128. If you have a lot of audio devices going in, more than two, I have my mic and then I have my game audio and then some music as well. If you have a lot of different tracks, then I recommend prioritizing them. So whatever's less important, turn that down to a lower bit rate. But yeah, it's up to you how you organize that, but that's what I recommend. So what have we got here? We've got the replay buffer. I've got that at 20 seconds. So what I want to show you now is enable hardware decoding when available. A lot of times people will set it up through their output and their streaming. It says here, enforce streaming service encoder settings. So this is a similar thing. It enforces this encoder here that you've set up. But the other thing you also have to do to be able to use your GPU instead of your CPU to be able to process the video that you're seeing on screen, like your gaming video and your camera, is how can I show you this? All right, so I'll just add another scene. You add a video source, right? So I'm going to add my camera, my webcam. So let me make this smaller so you can see what's actually going on. Why have I got two cameras? What the hell? All right, so we've got let's put my camera over here. Make it a bit smaller. All right, so for the camera, when you set the camera up, and this is also the same for your gaming, when you set your gaming video up, you want to go to your camera or your game video, click on settings, put all the preferences in that you want to put in, and then down the bottom here, you want to make sure you have use hardware decoding when available. This will make sure that it is using your GPU to process the information instead of your CPU, and it will take a lot of load off your CPU. If you have it on if you don't have this on, what will happen is you'll probably see a lot of lag in your stream and a lot of sync issues. So make sure that's selected. The next thing is if you're doing multi-streaming here, you're doing vertical and horizontal, it's going to take up double the bandwidth if you didn't know that. So you may want to stop doing vertical streams and just do the normal streams. But if you want to do both and you don't really have a choice and you want to do both, then you can go to settings. And a trick to help you with your streaming is, where do we want to go? Multi-streaming or something like that. All right, so multi-streaming should be here, multi-streaming there. Where was it? Go to video. So we'll go to video and then you have your horizontal and your vertical. So under vertical, firstly, you want to make sure your downscale is at bicubic at 16. That's the mid-range. The quality will be great and that will help with any lag or any sync issues. So the next thing you want to do is go to your vertical and change your vertical to 720. instead of having it at 1920 or 1080. So change it to 720 by 1280, which will downsize the resolution, and it won't push out as many bit rates and as much information. So that will also help with the lag and the sync. Now, you don't need to have it at a higher bit rate, at a higher resolution like this for the vertical, because it's only been seen on phone screen, so they're not going to notice the difference. Sure, the bicubic is on as well. That should help a lot. Another thing we can do is go to we'll start from the start. Go to settings, advanced, and then down here, if you have any sync issues or delay issues, or your screen stuttering a bit, you want to change your stream delay. So enable this and put the duration as 0 seconds. Automatically reconnect, you want to enable that and retry in 0 seconds. Maximum retries, you can put that at 50 or 100, whatever you want to go, however many times you want it to keep retrying. I don't really see the problem in making this a larger number, but I've just got it set at 50. So your network, keep that at default. Don't activate this dynamically change bitrate when dropping frames unless you have a really low grade computer that's struggling to stream, or you have really bad internet connection. So just leave that off otherwise, because you can turn it on and off to see whether it works for you or not. But I've heard good and bad things about it, so I don't really know whether it is good or bad, but I wouldn't recommend turning it on unless you have a low grade computer and a bad internet connection. So, and if you want to be able to speak to people on your stream almost instantly, put lower latency mode on. Alright guys, that's all for this video. I wish you all the best in your streaming journey, and if this helped you out, drop us a comment, let us know. I'll catch you in game or on the stream.